So, in today's episode, we're going to shift to the other side of the chart and focus on another specific energy pocket, the Chiron and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer. This is another aspect of the chart that gets activated with every other major transit and aspect. Whereas the last episode, the Capricorn second house stellium, was really grounded and earthy and serious, this conjunction in Cancer has an entirely different, more trippy and flowy vibe to it. So first, let's dig into some background on the two placements and then how they interact together to form an important pocket of energy on this chart. Jupiter is known as the planet of expansion. Many surface and trendy astrology nerds view Jupiter as the planet of luck and abundance. While this can be true, Jupiter's expansion capability tends to occur in support of transforming beliefs. So while yes, it can expand things like money and opportunity, it has the same potential to expand anything blocking transformation and anything that stands in the way of expanding our beliefs. So Jupiter at the Mercury degree indicates a huge expansion potential around understanding thoughts and communication in the sign of Cancer, around emotions, self-care, and nurturing one's emotional wellness. Essentially, the Jupiter placement by itself can act like a big megaphone, exponentially expanding the reach of the band's voice. Chances are this particular expansion is lit up and activated when used particularly to provide nurturing, healing, and encouraging support for others. Eighth house is about the capacity to create trust, intimacy, and perhaps even tap into the collective shared resources of unity consciousness and the quantum field itself. It's huge energy to literally bring people together in a far-reaching way. Additionally, there's a depth to this placement that feels into the more esoteric and metaphysical concepts, understanding of human life cycles, and energy beyond the physical concepts that are littered throughout 311's music and discography. When combined with being at the Mercury degree, this placement suggests expansion of communication, understanding, and reach around those concepts and connecting others through the energetic frequency of them.
Something beyond comprehension. We come from another dimension. It is a one true intention to change your fate. Yes, I'm telling you.
I think the story of the Transistor album is an interesting way to view Jupiter's influence in this chart. As we know, the band came out of the success of the Blue album with some pressure to produce another album. But instead of cut and pasting another Blue album, which is what the record companies at the time probably wanted, and what some of the Fairweather new fans maybe expected, the band did the exact opposite. They utilized the momentum they had gained from Blue and dug deeply into their creativity for Transistor. They produced an album that was more art and concept, exploring a lot of eclectic ideas musically, and especially lyrically. Songs like Inner Light Spectrum, The Continuous Life, Tune In, Star Shines, Transistor as a lead song. I mean, I could probably name most of the album here. Lyrically, it took a huge step out of 3D reality and kind of opened up your mind to a wider and deeper concept. It was an expansion of their creative capabilities, messages, and it also served as
This is an extension, achieving new heights of the day. Circumvent the limits, come through disarray, greater ascension. Cause I was born to elevate.
I mean, they literally have a song on the Transistor album called Jupiter, where they're expanding the concept of gratitude in an era where anger is the prevalent theme behind popular music. And the song doesn't even have the word Jupiter in it. Divinely guided much? And remember what happened with this album. It didn't take right away. It wasn't a hit off the bat, but it did become arguably the band's most beloved album in the long run among 311 Nation fanbase. And of course, and I'm not totally shy about this, it's my favorite album too. I think Transistor is a testament to combining deep, unapologetic creativity with expansion of messages and the potential to connect people emotionally and transform their beliefs. The transformative qualities of Jupiter expanded the success of this project over the long run, sort of a grassroots cornerstone, which has been important to the band's longevity. Additionally, as I touched on at the end of the last episode, it's a continued theme popping up again, because it's in the eighth house, which rules other people's money. The expansive potential for 311's music remains linked to their expression of esoteric concepts and transformational healing that's layered into the music. So to summarize, it's basically
Something out of nothing, the paranormal begin.
Next, we have Chiron, 15 degrees Cancer in the 8th house. Chiron isn't actually a planet, but it's probably one of the most relevant celestial bodies in our galaxy that can be consistently read with specific themes and energy patterns. Initially classed as an asteroid, it's something between a comet and a minor planet, depending on who you ask. From an energetic perspective, Chiron is known as the wounded healer. So that energy in a chart usually represents a major theme of challenges that results in deep healing and transformation. It has heavy attachment to ancient and karmic themes and gives clues to past life experiences, especially ones that invoke triggers and traumas within this current incarnation. In a person's chart, Chiron in Cancer can sometimes signal or represent mother wounding, not being cared for or nurtured sufficiently, issues around feeling at home, and trauma around vulnerability. This specific placement in Cancer points to feeling safe within feelings and emotional flow. A lifetime with a Chiron in Cancer placement is speckled with opportunities that trigger deep emotions and expose vulnerabilities. And there's a choice whether to dive into that head first or to deny and push it away out of fear, patterns, and programs. The 8th house specifically, the opportunities play out around themes of trust, intimacy, boundaries, and shared resources. When you look at a chart the way that I do, it's not simply about who you are or what you'll experience, but rather it's like having this galactic vantage point of unifying themes, challenges, and opportunities for growth. So it gives some perspective that's greater than a single lifetime, and it rather shows you part of a story larger than the here and now and more quantum in its dynamics. You know, the vibes I get here are perhaps our brothers from another planet here once again as a symbol of healing what's possible for all of us within the bigger picture of life itself. Now, I don't pretend to know the inner workings of the union that is 311. I only know what the rest of us know about their individual lives and their own personal demons and traumas, so I can't fully investigate this placement with the same depth as some other areas of the chart. I would need their birth times for that, hint, hint. However, we do know from their birthdays alone that all 5 of our guys are from the Chiron and Aries generation. Generally speaking, Chiron and Aries deals with issues and wounding around empowerment, bravery, heart-led passion, and protecting vulnerability. So as individuals, there were likely some form of wounding throughout their greater soul histories around stepping into their power. So it's kind of wild that coming together into the collective that is 311 probably had a hand in both triggering and healing some of their individual empowerment and bravery wounds, because maintaining this band for the long haul has meant that at times they've had to experiment with leadership and being seen, but also balance that out with being humble, keeping their egos in check, and also knowing when the collective is more important than the individual. Absolutely wild. So, I mean, it seems pretty clear to me, at least, that these guys were divinely guided to each other to partake in both their own individual healing and to serve a purpose of collective healing that has a reach larger than any of them could do on their own. So, jumping back to the collective Chiron and Cancer placement, I would surmise there's been multiple points over the length of the relationship with each other that their trust in each other has likely been tested in one way or another, which is a classic 8th house wounding. I like to think that perhaps they're coming together to form and maintain a collective based on trust, respect, and shared goals is itself healing lifetimes of individual experiences they may have had of abandonment, separation, and betrayal. Kind of a double layered healing in many ways. And I'm so happy that they get to experience this, especially now that they're all in their 50s. Individually, they've all experienced or moved through their Chiron returns, which is kind of energetically where the peak of the situations that challenge us into the healing of our Chiron wounds occur. So there's life after a Chiron return, where you get to settle into who you actually are as a person, essentially rebirth post healing of great trauma. I'm excited for that. Furthermore, in the adage of we heal ourselves, we heal each other, Chiron and Cancer generation gets to explore the emotional realm as a service to collective humanity. They get to lead the way and help others face the deep emotions within themselves. So a conscious applied use of Chiron and Cancer energy can act like a healing balm, a place that helps others feel at home and nurtured, like in many cases the bond of unity that is 311 Nation, and the bliss we get to experience when we come together in celebration at a show.
Buddy, happy Well, we most definitely are. As this year we're approaching 32 years as a band, getting to travel around, see our people, do what we love, bringing people together. Same 5 dudes. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you guys so much for making this all possible. We'll never take it for granted. So, jump for joy with us. Nod your head to the...
So now we take those two energies and put them within 1 degree of each other, and you get a conjunction, where the planetary energy combines and expands into a larger purpose and story. This conjunction deals with expanding the capacity to heal and feel where we haven't allowed ourselves to feel the depth of our emotion. The band has the capacity to be leaders in this process, both straightforward in the lyrics, serving as the nurturing, safe place encouraging us to feel our emotions, as well as through creating community, through which we can connect with others and establish trust and intimacy, within which there is potential to feel safe, to allow ourselves to feel and express fully our inner life spectrum, if you will. We can
do what you feel, the more absurd the better.
By serving as a conduit for healing in others. The band activates Jupiter's quantum expansive powers of the 8th house, which is the magic of shared resources and other people's money. I mean, let's be real. It's our money, the fans' money. But now that you can see it from a deeper vantage point, every time we support this band, we really are supporting the greater mission of quantum healing, because we're helping co-create that safe space for all of us to, again, do what we feel, the more absurd the better. So I will say, I know that this has maybe been a lot of esoteric speak, but there's a reason for this. In order to heal Chiron wounds, we many times have to look for other places in the chart and how they interact with our Chiron placement. With Jupiter putting an expansive spotlight on Chiron, it's a lighthouse literally lighting the path home.
Find a light to light my way home. Sun come through.
Okay, so we've reviewed the Jupiter-Chiron conjunction, and we've dissected at length the Capricorn second house stellium. Now, to make this chart even more interesting, those two major themes oppose each other. So most people hear the word opposition and immediately think it's negative, and many really mechanical astrologers read this as negative. But I have kind of learned through intuitively reading charts that oppositions are specifically challenges that require a constant balance. They are lessons. Rather than a tug-of-war scenario, a lot of times the energy kind of reminds me of Spider-Man. On one side of the boat is a specific theme, in this case the Capricorn second house stellium, and on the other side is an opposing theme or energy, in this case the Chiron-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer. The energies do cause tension, and when there's a challenge on one side that requires intense focus, the other can get neglected, thus throwing the energy out of balance. Pretty much every chart has oppositions, so this is a normal occurrence to have play in the game of balance. So the ultimate lesson in oppositions are found when we play Spidey. They're found in how you hold it all together and alchemize it through your lived experience. Leaning into one side for balance when you're experiencing the other can keep the whole ship together. So on one side, we have a nurturing conjunction around expanding emotional flow and creating a safe space for vulnerability through trust and intimacy. As discussed earlier in this episode, essentially it's expansion potential of emotional healing capabilities. And on the other side, we have this serious but beautiful clusterfuck of huge planets, along with the moon in Capricorn. This side of the fence is a serious undertone about responsibility and accountability to being that healing beacon of light and sound. It's earth versus water, structure versus emotion, masculine energies opposed feminine energies. Capricorn, which houses a lot of personal control type energy, versus Cancer, which can drown in its own emotion and martyr itself away to others, especially in the 8th house, which requires it to create boundaries and alliances. This creates a push and pull for the band between grinding away at their larger goals, while also being mindful to take care of themselves and give themselves a break so as not to burn out. I think the fact that it's been nearly 34 years and they are still strong all along is a testament to the natural way that they've navigated this opposition. They make it look easy, although I'm certain it hasn't been. And as mentioned earlier, there have been known moments where this opposition has had the potential to crack the unity and disrupt the balance. but yet they've remained beholden and committed to their cosmic utopian thriving mission of healing.
Come to say we're here to stay with the utopian way. We'll play today. Yes, we got to drive. We are so live, won't take a dive. We're gonna thrive. We got a condition called ambition. It's a cosmic utopian thriving mission.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I think that's fucking valiant. The expansive capacity of this band and the importance of its message of unity is literally written in the stars. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope the information contained here resonated with you as much as it did with me. I hope it offered some additional depth and insight into our favorite band. The series was so much fun to make. If you enjoyed this content and would like to support my continued journey of guiding others, please check out the merch link in comments below. The design of this merch has elements embedded directly from this analysis. So not only does it look cool and you'd be repping our favorite band, but it connects directly to the energetic map of the band itself. As a Scorpio rising, your purchase directly helps support my aligned mission of transformation and guidance as a service to others. Basically, your support allows me to keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully this series gave you a feel for how I read charts and how the information from your own chart could potentially help you identify and approach strengths and patterns within your own life. The chart is really here to help us navigate our way through this existence, and I'd love to be able to help and guide you through it. If you're interested in your own energy analysis and guidance sessions, please reach out directly via DM or email. For astrology-inspired merch, visit sunmoonrisingshop.com. For daily content linking the astrology to aspects of grounded healing and real-life application, follow me on Instagram at sun.moon.rising.bliss. Or for 311 content, my personal Instagram, Unity Grassroots. Finally, for more readings, the rest of this series, and for guided meditations that help wire in energies like this, comment, like, subscribe to this channel. Once again, sending out gratitude for any support you'd like to offer for alignment with my greater mission of service to others. Thanks for listening, believing in me, and having an open mind and an open heart. Much love and let it flow, because it won't stop.